Of course, my watch broke. I think we'll be okay.
I'm finding the page for everybody. 128 if you want to sing along. Bruce. Is Bruce still in the room?
The guy's back from vacation, he forgets how to do a service. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And tonight, Welcome Home takes on a special meaning. A welcome home to the rabbi and the rest of us. Those of us who are on the Panama trip, stand up. Who's here tonight? I saw about 5 or 6 of us are here tonight. Very nice. We had a wonderful time. We saw, 5 temples in Panama City?
Well, I think there are 4 buildings and like 6 temples.
Yeah, beautiful, spectacular bimas. I said to the rabbi, I want to do announcements from one of those. We had a wonderful time. We learned some stuff about Panama while we were there. We learned about each other. I learned that the rabbi enjoys a pina colada in the middle of the day. He didn't know it either. We learned that Ronnie becomes a Jew of a different hue if she spends a little too much time in the sun the first day. And we learned that I should not zip line. We learned that one. Anyway, we all had a wonderful time, and it was a wonderful chance for everyone to connect. This was my first temple trip, and I will tell you, if you have the opportunity on the next one, whenever that is, wherever it is, please do it, because it's a great opportunity to get to know your friends a little bit better and make new friends. So it's really, really nice. We have a special evening tonight, of course, because we have a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning, and we're all excited about that. And of course, the rabbi is back to do the service with the cantor, who did fine last week, by the way. Everyone said, yeah, we didn't miss him at all. We didn't miss a beat. So anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to have the rabbi back. And I will be back later with announcements. We have lots of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
And I just want to, I didn't have a chance to say hello to my friend Don Schragle there. Our kids are running a 5K. Apparently I have to run it with them. Are you running it?
I am not. Lucky you.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how far I get. But Dawn, this is her second time working with Cantor, and we're really happy to have her here. It's special for me. All right, we're going to welcome the Shabbat Angels on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem, and this is a Debbie Friedman version.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Erev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borechem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bachuni L'Shalom. Try with me. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sedekem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch
I don't think you've done that one before. Is that new?
You know, that's a Debbie Friedman one that was written many, many years ago.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I didn't know
They
she had
definitely do it in Rochester.
So we forgot to do our breathing in. So let's breathe in and breathe out the week. We'll breathe in everything that was wonderful, we want to hold on to. Breathe out all that yucky stuff from the week as well. Think about one moment from this week that you want to hold on to that's truly precious. And if you want to think about it, tell your neighbor, actually. Talk to your neighbor. One truly special memory. I see all the Panama folk. They're laughing because they have too many to talk about. All right, if anyone wants to share their moment, this is an opportunity. We'd love to hear what, it was such a beautiful weather the day. Oh my God, so precious. Anyone want to share any reflections of amazing things that happened? Oh, Cantor is great.
My daughter graduated her master's in science, pharmaceutical sciences, and a
And that-
bachelor's in science.
That's the final, your youngest.
Yeah, this is the last kid, yeah.
Yeah, Liz, yeah.
I sort of survived my fall out of my bed.
Oh no.
I'm A-okay now.
Okay, Liz fell.
Hopefully I won't be falling out again.
Yeah, must have been quite a dream, I guess. But
No, it wasn't a dream, it was real.
oh gosh, Liz had fallen out of her bed, but luckily she's okay. Anything else? I want to just say how wonderful it is to be with our Panama crowd. A lot of you are probably exhausted still. Oh, Carol, yeah, you want to share something?
Seeing the dolphins swimming.
Dolphin swimming, yeah. We didn't swim with them, but they were in the distance. We said we're allowed to claim that I think Ellen said that. So I want to bring a little bit of a memory. I wrote kind of a poetic journal along the way. And so this is a reflection from where we were last week, if you were wondering what we were doing on Shabbat. They arranged Jim and Yuri, who runs the hotel, Jim Cornell, who owns the hotel, and Yuri, the person in charge, is this wonderful, once Jamaican woman who's just very vivacious and really did a great job taking care of us. She set out a beautiful meal. There was only one problem. They had a live band starting at 5:30. So we carved out a little time. Ronnie DeBrown gave a Devar Torah, and at 5 o'clock we came together. We sang Yedid Nefesh, just like that, and a couple other songs. And then we ate Shabbat dinner together, and this was just a little reflection of what that experience felt like. It's called Shabbat Dinner in Bocastown. Sitting still, sipping ceviche. Small motorboats skim along the water. An old man dances in his chair at the bar. A calypso band plays using a keyboard and maracas. Seagulls dive in and out of the water. Water taxis bring people back and forth between islands. And that was our experience when we were having Shabbat. Okay, we're going to bring up Leah.
Rabbi,
Yeah,
can I just follow up on that real quick?
Sure.
Carol made a wonderful observation. We were outdoors, we were by the bar, having a Shabbat service in a public place, and we felt comfortable doing that. And Carol talked about how good it felt in this time to be comfortable enough to do that in that location. So I just wanted to add that.
yeah. Let me just reflect for people joining us on the stream, or if you couldn't hear, just Bruce was saying we did this in our friend's hotel, but in an outdoor setting with a band, and we were outwardly Jewish, and we felt comfortable, and that really was a wonderful thing. All right, we're ready, Leah. We're ready for you and your mishpacha. If they want to come up, you're going to help us light the candles and say the blessing over the kiddush. So let's bring up the pecs. The prayers on page 120. And whoever's joining you, Leah, I don't know. We'll see who loves you. Okay. Looks like her siblings are coming up. We have Tristan and Violet and Oliver. And Tristan and Violet have already gone through this, so they've gone through the experience. Oh, and here comes Sharon. Okay. They can come, whoever you like. Do you want your parents to come up? Okay, they're good. You guys can sit. Okay. So let's light our candles first, and the prayers on page 120. Who wants to light our candles? Tristan, do you want to? Okay. He's so tall, I hardly recognize him. Tristan had to do his bar mitzvah during the terrible pandemic time, so half the time I was looking at him in the Zoom screen. Feels like a long time ago, right? You probably have to blow it. Great job. Okay, so Leah, do you want to come over here? Oh, just put it on top of the box. Come to the microphone. You got it. We're going to help her out. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai
let's lift our Kiddush cup there. And Leah's going to lead us in B'rei Priya Gafa. Yeah. I think it's grape juice. Let's find out. But say the blessing first.
Elohim melech haolam,
B'rei
Priya Gafen.
L'chaim. All right, so you could either pass it to your mom, or you could, or no one has to drink from it.
I'm gonna say.
You could see. I don't know what Joanne, what did you give her here? Oh, it's wine, okay. Yeah, we just put it down there. That's good. Okay. Wonderful job. We'll have Leah come up to do the V'ahavta, and she's offered to read Torah. We have a very special Torah here. We're going to reveal it when Leah comes out later, because that is the Torah that her mom had her bat mitzvah with from the South Towns. That's a community that's no longer an active community, but we get to have their Torah here tonight. It's very wonderful. You guys can sit down. Wonderful job. We are now going to officially welcome in Shabbat with L'cha Dodi on page 138 and 139. We're going to be singing the first, second, fifth, and ninth. 1, 2, 5, and 9 verses. On the ninth verse, we're going to rise and face the doorway over there. And we're going to bow to Shabbat as she comes in and welcome each other with our waves at the end. community for our call of community, page 146, as we acknowledge our wonderful community. Each and every one of you is important to being here tonight, and we're so grateful as we celebrate just the feeling of being together. Again, page 160 and 46, sorry, 146. Remain standing, and let's read together on page 148. We looked at in our introduction to Shir Shalom services tonight. We read over the blessing for the evening, and we talked about how important it is to have the stability, knowing night is coming and acknowledging it, and just feeling even here the presence of the way the evening and days work in unison. So we're going to read it in the Hebrew. The transliteration is on the side without a melody. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'davro me'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach sharim u'v'tmuna mishaneh itim u'mechalif et hazmanim u'misader et hakokavim b'mishmerotehem v'rkiaz kirtzono. Borei Yom V'Layla Golel Or Mipnei Choshech V'Choshech Mipnei Or Umavir Yom Umevi Layla Umavdil Bein Yom Ubein Layla Adonai Svaot Shemo Elchai V'Kayam Tamid Yimlo Chalenu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamari Haravi. Blessed are you, God, who brings on the evening. We turn to the Shema, page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto
You may be seated. We'll turn to page 154, and we're going to invite Leah up to help us with the Via Hafta.
I use this. Via Hafta, Adonai Elohecha, B'chol Levavecha, U'b'chol Nafshecha, U'b'chol Me'odecha, V'hayu Hadevarim Ha'ele, Asher Anohi Mitzavaha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinantam Livanecha Vidibarta Vishifteha Vaveteha Uvalekteha Vadera Ushabeha Vikumeha Ukshartam Ayadeha Vihayula Tatafo Ben Eineha Uktaftam Amuzuzo Beteha Uvishareha Leman Tifkaru Va'asitem Ekom Mitzvotai Vehitam Kedoshim Lelohehem Ani Adonai Elohehem Asher Hotzitihem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Mi'ochahem Lehim Ani Adonai Elohehem
Wanted to read another poem from Panama. This one's called Heaven. Yellow and purple flowers perched above a waterfall, perfectly blue water in the shadow of a lush green forest, the buzz of birds and frogs and an old Jimmy Buffett song, smells of papayas and mangoes sticky in the humid air, a salt lace margarita, and a long soft chair to lift your feet. That was our experience at Hotel Gamboa in the Gamboa Forest. It was beautiful. We're going to continue now with Mi Chamocha, the Crossing of the Sea, page 158. During the evening, sometimes there's a tendency to be a little fearful, especially before there were electric lights. So we always had a prayer for that time. It's called the Hashkivenu on page 160.
We'll be doing that after the
Okay, so we're going to, I see, now I understand. All right, so we're going to skip over that for a second. I'll read another poem here. This is called Sunset in Gamboa. Sometimes things get reversed on our list, so I just want to make sure. So now we're on the same page. The sun touches down like the petal of a bird of paradise, like the dry belly of a palm, like the top of a bamboo stalk, not in the sky, but in the forest, mixing with a layer of white mist. I am watching over your shoulder, sipping a mojito, darkness descending over your hair like a lamp. And this was an experience also in Gamboa where the sun, I could see it in the trees, the purple sunset that was there. I'm going to invite you to rise with that image as we do the silent Amida, silent meditation, starting on page 164. to page 180, and afterwards we'll go back to 160. So take time for your own prayers, feel what's in your own heart, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated. We'll turn back in our prayer books to 160. Again, that prayer for safety that we asked for in the evening, the Hashkivenu.
It's a little bit of English mixed into this, a little bit of Hebrew. It's a quiet, meditative piece. Hashkifenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'habitenu, shomrenu l'chaim, l'chaim. Frost aleinu, Sukkot shalom lecha, ufrost aleinu, Sukkot shalom lecha. Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Hallelu, Hallelu. As I lay me down, may I feel peace all around, sheltered beneath your wings. May I feel safe and protected until the new day begins. Hashkifenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom.
So I promised at the beginning that we have a special surprise for you tonight, which is a wonderful, beautiful Torah. I'm looking at Tom. Do you want to, I'm going to show the Torah. It's over here. Can you, Tom, can you come up and just explain a little bit about the history of this beautiful Torah? We were a caretaker for it for a little while, but it's kind of back in different Southtown hands. And maybe explain a little bit about the community too. Carrie shined all the implements here beforehand.
So that once upon
You
a
have to go,
time,
you have to hear.
once upon a time, there was a congregation, Beth Shalom, in the South Towns. Wandered around. It was in Hamburg for a while. It was in a church, and people didn't feel real comfortable with the church surroundings. They said we would like something that would have more Jewish reflection. And so we eventually moved to the south, to Alma on Bolus Road at the camp that was there, the Jewish Center Camp, Camp Centerland. And we had a congregation where everybody had to do something, or you didn't have a congregation. Eventually, we ran out of people who were doing things, and we dissolved. That's why we're here, my family and Leah, making her bat mitzvah. So one year, the first bar mitzvah was coming up, and one of our friends said, it would be nice to have a Torah. So we're a small group, and he goes to New York and meets a Torah salesman. And he says, you know what you're getting into? My wife originally wanted to have cows out where we are in Alden, and the farmer said, you know what you're getting into? Do you know how much you have to feed them? Do you know how much milk you have from one cow? Well, they said, these Torahs cost a fortune. You have the money, and we're a limited number of people. And then he said, well, I do have an idea, though. He says, we can get you, it wouldn't be a kosher Torah, but we can get you a Torah. It would be, we've got one that is pieces of other Torahs. And this is what this Torah is. You can imagine pieces from temples, congregations in Europe that were dissolved, destroyed, eliminated, and probably some of these were from those that burnt up and salvaged, and so it's all sewn together. And they said, but you know, are you satisfied? It's not kosher and all. Well, we have some very independent women. They intended to read the Torah, and they said, well, the people who say it's not kosher, as soon as we touch it anyways, it's not kosher. So this is beautiful for us. And we've appreciated it. And Sharon made her bat mitzvah. My son Matthew's in the back there, in the middle row, the third from the end. He made his right before Sharon and our two sons did, and many others in the group. It was a congregation where we taught each other. We had people helping out to teach Torah lessons and religious instructions. And I was the president one year. It was the old Beetle-Bailey syndrome, that Beetle's standing there half asleep, and do we have a volunteer to take over? And I must have been asleep or dazed. Everybody stood back, and I became president. And one time, we lived in Alden. This was in Alma. We get a call that the building, Camp Centerland, is on fire. So I drive over there, and all I can think of, well, we had a lot of prayer books and so on, but I thought, we've got to get our Torah. And they let me through the lines where they were blocked. I said, I'm the president of the congregation. We have a beautiful religious vestment there that we have to we have to save, they can't destroy this, and they fire. So I went up to the firemen, they smoked, I don't know how many of you were at Camp Centerland, but the smoke was billowing out of the windows, the firemen were trying to get inside and so on, and one of the firemen I approached, he had a mask on. I said, our Torah. What? I said, a Torah. I said, it's a big scroll. It's wound up. It's in the closet. Can you get it? I said, you go in straight and you turn to the right, and then there's a door there with the closet. Can you get it? So he said, I'll try. So he goes in and it's steaming and smoking. And suddenly he comes out in a procession here. I thought we should have all joined in singing the song of the Torah and praising it, because he brought it out and we saved it, and there was, may have been some smoke damage, but that is the Torah that Leah will be reading from. And then we discovered yesterday she had studied from Torah script that we discovered was not quite as the same. You know how different handwriting will make difficulty for some people reading, and maybe it's antiquated handwriting or script writing. Well, evidently some of it is a little bit hard to read. It's not quite what she studied. And he said, is this going to be all right? And she said, yes. I think she got her phone out and copied her section so she could read it and compare it. So if you, Leah, if you stutter a little bit, we all understand, okay? It's hard to read sometimes when it's a little bit differently written. So this is the Torah that now the congregation uses.
Would you like to carry it around the
Sure,
congregation?
yes.
Here, you
Yeah.
come over, you're gonna sing the Shema. Will you do that?
Yes. yes.
Okay, let me open it for you. We're gonna rise on page 366. Tom is gonna lead us responsibly in the Torah, in the Shema, and then we'll have him take this Torah around so you can see it yourself. I'm gonna take off these two. I think you can do it with this. Why don't you come over here? And here we go. Here.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Now your turn.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Oneromepo Shemo Yachdav.
Start this way.
Lecha Adonai Hagedula Ve'Hagevura V'Tiferet Ve'Hanetzach Ve'Hakod Ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai ha'mamlacha Ve'avidaseh lekol erosh Romimu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu Lehar kocho Romimu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu Lehar kocho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם, העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם, העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
So we're going to invite Leah up here to read. She volunteered to do it. It's very nice. She's going to read the beginning of Bechukotai, which is this week's Torah portion, the last in the book of Leviticus, and maybe afterwards we'll do the Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. So let's find your place. And we're going to have Harvey Horowitz, her teacher. We're so grateful to have Harvey back. And he's going to serve as Gavai tonight. And why don't we have all our Panamanian group come up? You're going to do the Aliyah. Anyone? Ed, you can do it from your seat there. It's okay.
We're doing the first one, right?
Yeah. If you have it, I think it's a little bit over. No, yeah, it's this. It's over one. Yeah, there you go. Yamdu kol kihilat Panama l'aliyah harishona. So if you want to touch the Torah, you can take. Where's the? We have the. I got my book. Oh yeah, just do that. That works. Here, if anyone wants to touch.
If you have a Hertz Pentateuch in front of you, it's on page 542. 542.
But not in the prayer book. It's below the seats. Not in the front row either. All right, Yamdu, come on over here. Well, ready? We doing? Baruch Hu et Adonai Haborah
Asher Bakar Banu Mikol Hamim, Benatan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Imavunkotai, Telehu, Va'at mitzvotai, Tishmaru, Va'asitem, Otam, Vanatati Kishmehem, Ba'itam, Vanatana, Ha'aretz Yevula, Ve'etz Hasadeh, Yitem Pirio, Vahisi Lahem Daish, Et Batzir, Uvatzir, Yasik, Et Zara, Ve'ahotem, Lachmahem, La Sova, Vishavtem, La Veta, Ve'artzahem.
Kiss over here.
Nicely done.
Oh, we have to do our ending blessing.
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam atah b'toreinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Misha Berak Avatino Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov Imatino Sarah Karachel Valea bless. May our Holy One to bless our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless our holy crew who have returned safely from Panama and have bonded as family and as community. May the warmth of our trip glow upon your faces and on the faces of our community. And may we have stories to share about ziplining mishaps and dolphin swims for years to come. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
And may we have an opportunity to go there in the near future.
Amen. She's in a hurry to get back down.
Didn't Leah do a wonderful job there? She did wonderful. It's a real gift when a bat mitzvah wants to come and share their reading with the whole community. It also helps them, I think, feel a little bit more comfortable for tomorrow as well. The Torah needs to lose a little weight over here.
It is the tree of life to those that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy.
It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy.
Ba-da-da-da.
Shalom, 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 shalom,
Shalom.
And we forgot to do, we're gonna say our chazak. We can put our hands out. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Strengthen, strengthen, may we be strengthened. That's a beautiful ritual we have. I realize at the end of each book, a book is a little like a trip or a journey. It's full of learning experiences and ups and downs, and times you want to throw it away, and times you want to just spend your whole life there, and that's sort of like what a journey is. And at the end of it, you have to find the strength to go to the next book. And there's something about that when we think, I always think of when I was, my daughter was, 7 months or whatever it was, and we were doing sleep training. And I thought, okay, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, and it took us like 4 days to do, and she's crying all night, all these kind of things. And I thought, I completed the hardest task I could ever do. And I didn't realize like 3 months later I would have to do it again, 6 months again, and so on. So you need that strength for your journeys. So I wanted to reflect tonight not on the Torah reading, but actually on Jews of all hues. We're at the completion of our first year of this, and I have very good news. We are going to do it again next year. We have traveled all over the world, and I want to just offer a little reflections before our last Jews of all hues. When we first started thinking about ideas, and we were sitting down, and we started to develop this idea of really thinking about Jews around the world and really highlighting them and showing kind of what our community really is. We really didn't know what we were creating exactly. We had a couple of goals. Our goals were to demonstrate diversity in our community. Our community is not one thing. Look around the room. We have people that came from all places in this world, all different faiths. We're a very diverse group. We wanted to give people who hadn't ever had a chance to share their story an opportunity to share their story. So many of us in this community have amazing stories, and I'm privileged in my position to hear a lot of those stories, but they don't always go out and are disseminated. So to give people an opportunity to really let their story be heard in a meaningful way. And to just give a fuller picture of our Jewish story. Oh, it sounds beautiful. Our Jewish story is not one story. It's a myriad of different stories, and it doesn't just exist in Israel and America. It exists all over the place. So we really wanted to hold on to those three ideas. But we had no idea that how people would respond to it, but also that the situation in the world would change so dramatically. We started planning this about a year ago in May or so, May or June last year, and we got the lineup of people, and we were going to start in November. We had no idea October 7th would come about and really shake up everything that we thought about. And October 7th really sent a chill down the spine of all of Jewry. It woke us up to how people in the world could actually see us. It showed us that anti-Semitism is not isolated to just skinheads or the fringe, but is open and dangerous as at any time in history. And it demonstrated how, whether we liked it or not, or realized it or not, that we are all, from the Haredi, the ultra-Orthodox, to the non-observant, part of this community. We are all connected to Jewry, whether it's just our grandparent, or where it's our adopted religion, or we participate in the Jewish community in some way, we are all linked together. This has brought us together, but unfortunately it's also revealed our fissures. And it's this later development that I've noticed the last couple of months that's probably been the hardest part of this whole thing. That the Jewish world, surprise, surprise, I guess, is not always so unified. And the fact that Jews could hate other Jews, I think that's been really the hardest and most painful to me, and for a lot of the community. Jews of all hues has been kind of our antidote to everything that's been going on. The reason why I believe it, when I meant that the response, we've had hundreds and hundreds of people that have come. Almost every single gathering on the first of the month has well over 100, 150 people, sometimes close to 200, which before the pandemic, maybe we would sometimes get to, but it was some of our most popular services that we've ever held, actually. And that's because of the connection, our guests willing to share their stories and to bring their people in. It's Cantor Frank, who really dedicated herself to the music and to really bring that about, and Zach Rosenblum, who helped to show us some of the food each time. And all of that was important. But I think it was much more than that. It was really, we needed to recognize that we are so much more than we ever realized. That we have, at this time, we needed to reflect at the beauty, especially of global Judaism. Over the course of this year, we have traveled to Morocco. Some of you have. Did anyone use the passports, by the way? Anyone stamp off your passports each time? You have many more passport stamps than I have. We have Morocco, Mexico, Ukraine, Italy, Uruguay, Iraq, and next week, Israel. So it's quite a journey. If we had done that by plane, I think it would have taken us a long time. We probably wouldn't have gone in that order also. On the way, we have heard amazing stories of Jewish life thriving in sometimes the most difficult of conditions. We have heard about expulsions and feeling less than welcome in many of these places. But we have also heard about cooperation, beautiful bonds between Jews and their host communities. For me, it has provided a lot of hope. Hope that there's Jewish life beyond American Israel, hope in our resiliency, hope in our ability to adapt. This past week, as we've mentioned, we had our trip to Panama, and we had 20 people. This was kind of the culmination of Jews of all hues. We had 20 of us, Jim Cornell and Darcy Kramer have a hotel in Bocastown. They invited us down. They set up everything. They did a lot of the work, and it was really an amazing trip. We left on a Tuesday, came back on a Wednesday. We saw one of the wonders of the world in the Panama Canal. Some of us, Deborah and Ed, even got to ride on that canal. It's quite an amazing thing. We saw a great IMAX show to show us the history of how difficult a project it was to come about. We spent time in the rainforest and the Caribbean, saw monkeys and toucans and sloths and kookaburras. The waters were warm and delightful, and the nature was breathtaking. But for me, the highlight by far was having a chance to see and get to know the Jewish community there. Believe it or not, there is a Jewish community in Panama. Led by our amazing guide, Patricia, who actually started Jewish tours in Panama. She was a transplant from Costa Rica, and she said she was a foreigner because in Costa Rica, which is the neighboring country to Panama, they are all Ashkenazi Jews, and all the Jews in Panama are Sephardi. So she felt very, very, very isolated when she arrived some 40 years ago. But the community welcomed her in. Her husband was Sephardic, so he was part of the community. That's how she got there. And she was an architect as well, and later helped design these tours. So she took us to 4 separate synagogue buildings, but each building, there were multiple synagogues inside of it. And we went to an all-kosher supermarket. Now picture this, it was like Wegmans. I'm not kidding you. It wasn't quite as big as Wegmans, but it was pretty big, clean, beautiful. It's called Super Kosher. And it was in a high-rise. It's probably one of the largest kosher supermarkets in the world outside of Israel. Larger, I think, even than Toronto, I would say. They had 20 kosher restaurants. 20, just think about it. We don't have a single one where we have, at the JCC there's one, and on campus there's been, but really 20 even makes Toronto, which has 250,000 Jews. It pales in comparison. There's only 20,000 Jews there. And they have this just amazing system. These synagogues that we visited, they were almost all new or recently remodeled, and they all were covered in Jerusalem stone. If you've been to Jerusalem, there's a white stone that's just a beautiful, that all the buildings, and each and every one of the buildings had Jerusalem stone, so you felt like you were actually in Jerusalem. They had, since a large, 75% of the community is Sephardic. They don't even really count the Reform community, but we don't need to go there. They have about 2,000 Reform. The original settlers were actually, eventually became the Reform community. They were trying to get, in the 1500s, they were trying to get away from the hurricanes that were on like St. Thomas and the different islands, and they ended up in Panama. So all the way from before Jews were in New York, in America. So when you look at their synagogues, they're designed like a Sephardic synagogue. They'll have a little chapel, and they'll have the main service. They have the Torahs are in the middle. So if we were a Sephardic synagogue, you wouldn't be looking at me here, you'd be looking at me there. And they have Torahs, if you've seen them, they're round, and they open, they're metal, and you open, so you look at it, you don't have to look at it down here, you actually look at it directly in front of you, standing. One of the most beautiful customs, and we had Ronnie DeBrowen with us, who's a mohelet, who does circumcisions. They have these beautiful chairs. I guess I've never seen it like this. They're called Elijah chairs. They have them, would be next to the ark, and it looks like a king or a queen's chair. Very, very ornate. And this beautiful sky pictures, 10 Commandments. I put a lot of them online so you can take a look, but it was truly breathtaking. They had mikvahs outside of every women's section, so that was taken care of. And also I love that they had emergency number for people to call the community, that they actually had a whole emergency system. If you had something that happened, you call your synagogue community and they help you. Each member, everyone had to belong to the synagogue, and everyone got a name on one of the sanctuaries, on one of the chairs in the sanctuary. And they had a beautiful thing. The chief rabbi who started everything, he's since just died, his name was Sion Levy, and he wanted to sit among the people, not in his own chair, like far away. He said, I want to sit with the people. His dream was to even have an Orthodox rabbinical school called a kollel, and they have rabbis in training from all over the world that come to train, and they have also a thriving day school system with lots of students and young people. They said they're one of the only communities in the world, Jewish communities in the world, that's growing. They're 17 to 20,000 and growing strong. They also had huge Israeli flags everywhere, and they had pictures of the hostages, like wall-length pictures with each of the hostages, and it said whether they were deceased or whether they had gone back home safely, and it was very touching to see. To see this vibrancy of Jewish life in a place I kind of had seen that there were 20,000 Jews, but I didn't know what that meant. It's not just that there's this very cohesive community. And it was heartwarming. It made me feel so much stronger, just like Jews of all hues has done. On the plane back on Wednesday, we were sitting in a closed-off section of the airport. They have this crazy security there where you go through one layer, then you end up in another. Anyways, it's a balagan, as we say. And there was an older couple. The woman was wearing a Jewish star necklace. And so someone in our group pointed her out, so I went over and said hello. I asked if she was part of the Panamanian Jewish community, and she said not only was she a part of it, but her father started Super Kosher. And of course she said, she asked, who was your guide? Patricia. Oh, Patricia, we love Patricia. It's a very, very tight-knit thing. Then we talked about Israel. We consoled one another. One of her nephews, she described, was killed on October 7th. It was a very heroic situation. He was caught in a situation where he had to basically give up his life throwing a grenade in order to save the rest of his family and a whole bunch of people. But a very big tragedy. She said, he was just in our house 8 years ago. I told her a little bit about what's going on in Buffalo and all the struggles that we've had here on our campuses, and luckily they hadn't had it there. And we cried and we consoled one another. This was an experience of showing, how it doesn't matter where we are. We have this kind of connection. We are. This interaction with my new Panamanian friend warmed my heart, and it broke it at the same time. How precious our relationships are. How precious our community is. May we never lose track of how fortunate we are to have friends and family around the world who are part of our mishpacha, our family. I have a poem here that I saw this week, came out through Ritual Well. If you look in your leaflet, we're going to say it together. It's a prayer by Daniel Raphael Silverstein. It's called A Prayer for Israel's Present and Future. And I felt like it really encompassed kind of this feeling that I was having on the trip. So it's right under my Torah thoughts there. Everyone see it? Let's read this together. May we remember that our faces are mirrors of each other. Our fears are mirrors of each other's. Our hopes are mirrors of each other. And all our children will inherit everything we are. May we remember our shared past, our shared ancestors, our shared heritage, our shared grief at the destruction of our home twice before, our shared journeys through millennia of exile, our share of pride in who we are and that we have all achieved, wherever we have found ourselves and now here. May we remember that our being here is something no human can explain or understand. May we remember that we are responsible to those who came before us and those who came after us. May we remember that it is very, very easy to destroy, but infinitely harder to build. I thought it was a really beautiful prayer. So may it be so. We're going to turn to our prayers for healing, and we have in your leaflet as well, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it's on the bottom where the calendar is. It says prayer for healing. I'm going to read our list. We are thinking about, as a community, Andrea Adler, Neil Agnata, John Binder, Reverend Jim Callahan Wiesel, Alan and Karen Cooper, Joe Dinky, Lil Duquette, Gloria Fine, Sue Frank, Barbara Frieda, Marianne Sacamando Friedman, Carolyn and Ernie Grosser, Dijon Heyman, Hillary Kerman, Maya Ruth Corin Matlock, Jim Kiles, Miles Levy, Gail Lewis, Jenna Metzer, Michael Malik, Aaron Nevler, Judy Osowitz, Sean Peck, Shannon Perry, Marty Ralabati, Dwight Reed, Shel Rossi, Beverly Rovner, David Rovner, Brandon Ryan, Diane Wabnek Chetier, Wyatt Alexander Simpson, Gail Willig Smith, Gary Spiceman, Enav Simons, Rex Tarman, Eleanor Vasilevsky, Mike Wheeler, Matt Willard, Gail Zaretsky, Ariel Leah Bat-Chava, Yosef Ben Zissel, Shmuel Ben Miriam, Hindasara Baracha, Shoshana Bat Liba, Chana Ezra Ben Shul, Chana Leah Bat Avram Asara, Liba Bat Rachel, and Shoshana Bat Liba. If you have other names, just raise your hands.
Mary here. Shelley Cordero.
Marshall Friedman and all the Israeli soldiers that have been injured in the war.
Evan Moretsky and
Andy Spence.
Lou Lombardi. We're going to die.
Batami Bachulami, Lance Gelfand.
Sharon Walker and Kelly White. Sophie Bach. And Divyo Harmon.
Anita Klinger, Jill Klinger.
We'll bring all those names into our hearts, and again, Prayer for Healing by Todd Herzog is on the bottom of your leaflet.
In our Father,
they're needed, and may they comfort those among us and those that we're sending prayers to. I invite you to rise if you're able, page 586 for Aleinu.
Alleluia, Shabbat, Adon, Hakol, Latek, Gilad, celebration. Hello, Sanctified, Yeharantzor, Hello, Samanu, Krishmachot, Adama, Hello, Sanctified, Yukahem, Begol, Aleinu, Gikol, Haolam, Anachnu Purim, Umishtahavim, Umatim, B'livnei Erev, Umalchei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch
Page 591. You may be seated. We turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Tonight we are remembering recent passings: Harold Bob, Edward Angus, that's the father of Audrey Nadell. I spoke to her, the funeral was out of town, and she's sitting Shiva with her mom. We're also thinking about Sue Frank, who lost her father, Lester, suddenly, so I know what a difficult week it's been. On our Shloshim list, we remember, that's the last month, we lost Judith Brody, James Bukowski, Rose Haber, Renee Joff, and Lou Weiner. On our yard site list from years past, we remember Bessie Baker, Alfred Barach, Harry Barron, Ruth C. Bauer, Frank Bookbinder, Anita Breger, Shirley C. Bronstein, Drina Bush, Martha Cantor, Beverly Cohen, Gertrude Kramer, Jacob N. Feldman, Donald Fox, David H. Freed, Blanche Gish, Zalman Sam Gordon, Samuel Gottesman, Ray Gudovitz, Lorraine Heitner, Morris Herman, Nathan G. Horowitz, Dr. Murray Hurwitz, Benjamin Cariff, Baby Klein, Dorothy Klein, Caitlin Klein, Samuel Middleman, Pearl Packel, Ruth Phillips, Rose Pykoff, Jerry Rakin, Reverend Elijah Revo, Esther Robinson, George Rubin, Mildred Sadarin, Richard Scheif, Seymour A. Schoenfeld, Barbara A. Simon, Dr. Paul Slepian, Alvin Solomons, Nettie Spector, Marilyn Steinhardt, Francis Takiff, Ralph B. Tufts, Morris Unher, Fern, Kayla Waterman, and Mark H. Yellen, and Bella Zisman. If there's other names, just raise your hand. All those whose custom it is to rise, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach urtei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudusha brechu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'yimaru amen. Yehei shlomer rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Oseh shalom v'yimaru mavku yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yishvei Tevel v'imra amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to all Israel, to all the world, and we say amen. You may be seated. Zikronam livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. And we have Bruce to offer the announcements. Last week he phoned it in from Panama.
I sent in a video that said, I'm at the beach, there are no announcements tonight.
There are no what?
No announcements tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Mazel Tov to Leah Peck and her family on her bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. Tom, I loved your story about how you became president of your temple. Mine is a similar one. There was one executive committee meeting. I went to the bathroom. I came back and everyone said, congratulations, you're the president. Never go to the bathroom at an executive committee meeting. And of course, welcome back, Rabbi Alex, and everyone that was part of the Panama trip. We have stories to tell for years to come. Rabbi didn't mention one thing about the Jewish community in Panama City. A mixed marriage there is Ashkenazi and Sephardic. That's their mixed marriage. Thank you to Elliot Gavelnik for being our service greeter tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you, of course, to Rabbi Alex and Cantor Frank and Dawn Schregel over there. Thank you, Dawn. It's nice to have you aboard. Tomorrow morning, Torah study, 9 a.m. at Temple Beth Tzedek. It's also via their Zoom. Then
No, it's here.
Oh, yeah. Just,
okay, it's here.
just in person.
It's here?
It's here?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Because of Tom's,
Okay. There's Torah study tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. here, and it will not be on Temple Beth Tzedek's Zoom. So don't go there. We have our morning service, and the bat mitzvah of Leah Peck is at 10:30. Where's Julia? Tikkun Olam team still SPCA this month?
Yes,
Okay, all this month, we're in, and next month too?
at least in the beginning.
Okay, because this is the last Friday of the month. So early June anyway, we'll be collecting for the SPCA, so please do something for that. This Tuesday, we have Shabbatas from 4. By the way, one of the days in Panama, I wore a Shir Shalom shirt, and 3 people came up to me and said, Shabbatas? Shabbatas? So the word has spread. Anyway, Shabbatas Tuesday from 4 to 7. Well, no, we don't go to 7 anymore. 4 to 6:30 or until sold out. Then Wednesday night, June 5th, 6:30 p.m., we have Israeli dancing practice with Dorothy Lewis and Linda Bergman. And the reason we're doing that is because on Friday, June 7th, our last Jews of all hues will be Jews of Israel, and it will be featuring a guest speaker, Dr. Andy Simons, accompanist Ivan Dochenko, and Dorothy and Linda will lead Israeli dancing at the Oneg Shabbat. So come Wednesday to practice, come Friday to dance. And of course at Jews of all hues, the Israeli foods of the night will be catered by the Bloom and Rose. And also, I don't know if you saw the email, but we're doing an auction to benefit the families of the hostages. So please take part in that. Some people were very generous in what they donated, and we'd like to help the families if we can. The Jews of all hues, of course, is sponsored by Michael Berger, and as the rabbi mentioned, we're going to do it again next year. How wonderful is that? Every week during the month of June, there will be a weekly walk for the hostages on Sundays, bringing them, the theme, of course, is bring them home now. There's a flyer outside the sanctuary if you would like to know more about it. We're going to have ballroom dancing June 13th and June 27th. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. You don't need a partner. You don't need experience. You don't need to be coordinated. Just show up and do it. It's $10 per person per session, and it should be a lot of fun. We have our driving class coming up, the defensive driving class coming up the last Saturday in June, June 29th. Many of you have taken it. It's a chance to save about $100 a year on your car insurance for 3 years, and it will benefit the temple. So if you'd like to know more about that, chat with me afterward. If you need, do you want to mention Sunday real quick, the meet and greet?
Sure.
Okay,
So when you're finished.
there's a guy over there who's going to be directing next year's Purim Spiel. Mike, is it Cowell or Cole? Cole. So we have our new Purim Spiel director, and this Sunday at 11:30, Spielers are going to have a meet and greet with Mike and get to know him. He's going to get to know us. He's going to quit on the spot. But anyway.
I
that's-
ordered food. I ordered lots of food for lunch. So if anyone is seriously considering about joining the cast for next year, we're kind of doing this with last year's cast. But if anyone who's really seriously thinking about joining the cast for next year, come to the meet and greet at 11:30 on Sunday.
Speaking of food, please join us for the Oneg Shabbat, sponsored by Tom and Carrie Moscato, in honor of Leah's bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. And if you need anything at all, please feel free to reach. Now that we're back, reach out to myself or the rabbi. You can reach out to the cantor. You can reach out to Joanne anytime. Todd, anytime, day or night. You need your lawn cut, talk to Todd. He's happy to come out. And thank you all for being part of this wonderful Shir Shalom family. Shabbat Shalom.
I got one last poem. This was about the experience of traveling together. It's called Ways We Are Now Related. By DNA, by marriage, by destination. When we travel together, we become like family. Only you and I shared that moment. When at dinner, while eating mahi, sipping on a pina coladas through our paper straw, we exchanged stories like kids. I saw into the deepest regions of your mind, but you saw into mine, just as you saw into mine. And now when we see one another, we can laugh as if we were far away, floating peacefully in the quiet waters of the Caribbean with no thought or care of where we are heading next. To destinations. We are going to conclude Ma Yafeh Hayom, page 128, popular. Often we do it at the beginning of the service, so we've switched it around to the end. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Again, 128. And the challah is a gift from your synagogue family there. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please return your prayer books minus the leaflet to the front. Shabbat Shalom and join us for the Oneg.